Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation, what is sensorality, looking for the stabilizing syllability. Retrieve, receive. And so I wanted to point out the conceptually, right? Retrieve, you're going to get something. Receive, you're just getting something. But this I before E except after C. And so again, just something that popped out, retrieve and receive. Again, direct kind of iterations almost, but the order of the I and the E are different. Sensorality is one species. Sensorality is species singular. Sensorality is sensibiliality. Sensible, sensible. Showed the iteration from the A to the I last time. Sensibiliality is syllability. Sensorality is sensibility. Again, spelled with an A. Sensorality is stability. Now we add the T. Sensorality is stability. So again, last time, 150 parts ago, I don't know when it was, but we said, all of this, really we're just building one theorem. So even the mathematical presentation of here is axioms, here is a conclusion, we are showing the internal consistency of the language itself in which we've derived all of these results. And so your structured mathematical presentations of axioms don't even really make sense here. But our overarching, most general thing, again, these fundamental theorems change quite a bit and it's legitimate. I'm giving some hierarchy to, in the future, people will care. For right now, it's a lot for you guys to keep up with, or you can't. But efficiency and stability are like these overarching, again, if you had to say what is one axiom, again, all physical systems are seeking maximum efficiency. And so to have maximum efficiency, you also have stability. So again, even more general or more comprehensive than an axiomatic structure. Again, words still just have meaning. But we've derived sensorality as stability, which would have been, again, in the initial formalization, the most poignant, or like the axiom of axioms. Ooh, look at me. But in reality, we're just demonstrating the consistency of language. So again, even the presentation of axioms, right? If you said, hey, you have to, have a physical theory, where are your axioms? It's like, we were all born into a world where sounds have associations to meanings. It's like, that's my empirical evidence, more so than an axiom, right? Because an axiom's a physical law, but physics is, literally, it just exists. And we have this irreducibility, and the word physics is just is, differentiated, literally. But we've derived sensorality is stability. And if we were to formalize it, again, this is more formal, this is more complete than anything you've seen before. And so if we were to formalize that, again, that would be the connecting to like the main axiom. Differentiation is the operation of separation. Sensation is operational. Operation, opera. Operation, open. What is inversion to conversion? Again, we had this big logical dichotomy, inversion, opposition, right? What is conversion? Right? If you convert something, you change it. Conversion changes. Opposition converts. So again, we're trying to show this breaking away linguistically, again, of the direct syllability. Fundamentals are basics. Sensorality is basicality. Basicality is the opposite of speciality, right? If you're special, you're different. If you're basic, you're not. So we're finding this natural opposition inversion. Again, opposition is the limit of inversion, but we're finding that linguistically. Basic is bland. And you'll see that again, I know I've pointed it out, but historically, you go read a book, they'll be describing somebody, whether it's fiction or whether it's a historical account, as base, B-A-S-E, for meaning bland, basic. Not special. Sameness is basic. Sensorality is samesies. Sensorality is sameness. Sensorality is samenessality. Just generalizing linguistically, sameness. Sensorality is nessality, directly from sameness. Maximum similarity is sameness. Sameness is identity. Right? There's only one you, there's only one me, we're all different. But we're all having the same type of experience. We all have sentience. Sensorality is, or sameness is identity, sensorality is identitality. Identitality identifies, and that is a natural definition. So we've said inanimate objects is again this redundancy. And that same type of feeling struck me for, because in this entire process I'll refer to, you lose your sense of personal identity. And so that's another one of those personal identity structures of language that seems redundant to me. But identitality identifies, sensorality is identitality. We just restate the fundamental theorem of physics. Thought is analysis. Like the actual physical process of you having a thought is in reaction to something in your environment. Right? Somebody does something stupid and your eyes get all wide and you look over and you're thinking something. Right? That is a reaction, a physical reaction to inefficiency, literally. That process of thinking, not saying, I'm going to sit down and study math or I'm going to study science, but a thought pops into your brain, right? That is physics. And so thought is analysis. And that's the most comprehensive thing we can say about physics now, right? Because I'm a physical being. We've already covered charge, the dichotomy, all of that stuff. And so, again, we're building up to this level where we can derive down, and it shows the complete iteration. Right? Iteration, identity. What is identity to completeness? Right? Are you complete? What makes you feel complete? You'll see this in my email, food and family. And so, but again, if you lose one arm, you're still completely you. And so you can't, right? Identity is completeness. Completeness is sameness. And now we can show a direct iteration once again. Again, we're getting much, much closer with these direct iterations, but sameness, soreness. And so again, and on these direct, I wanted to emphasize it on a previous episode, but the direct iterations, you can see the physical limits presented by computer user interfaces, right? The symmetry will line up in a way where you can see the syllables lining up. And so that was very apparent. And you'll see it again, it'll be on your screen, sameness and soreness with the added, again, direct iteration with the added, and all of the elements in the same place, the am and the or. So now we're iterating two complete words. And so this concept that we've identified, kind of not identified, I introduced as naturally as amalgamated words, already identified as compound words. But again, now we're removing whole words, and that feels like something I should point out. In these little analytical steps, I'm just providing you any insight that I can possibly say. Because once I'm done with this, there's nothing else to do again in science ever. Well, in fundamental, a complete logical proof of exhaustion. I mean, all scientific discovery has to cite this 100%. But it's literally everything. I mean, we're solving everything, literally. Because all of these steps are independent of me, and who's going to reproduce these? Well, let's see. I'm sure Harvard's real close. But again, you can see the symmetry presented. Putting something on a computer in a font is already a huge physical limit. And then you can see the symmetry preserved in the font itself. Sameness, soreness. Again, the thing we are iterating is two complete words, am and or. Nothing else I can say there. Sensorality is soreness. And now for a natural definition of sensorality. Sensorality is sorenessality. And so again, see how now we have that sen, and then before we did this whole rearranging of sourcinality, sensorality, just flipping around all of the syllables to exhaust, again, the conceptual implications of what this variable could represent. And so we did that, but now again, we're like forcing, right, sensorality is sorenessality. And so we're creating in linguistical bounds where we're pairing up these two base words and showing that direct linguistic iteration. My rights continue to be violated. It is profound and extensive torture. All I've begged for at this point for many, many years is just a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work. And the answer has been a resounding no. It is profound and extensive torture. It is illegal in reference to all international law. I live in an impersonal environment where sports is the only thing that matters, and anything that Brad articulates doesn't. And so, again, I just want the people of the future to never show any sort of respect to anybody involved in the suppression of science to any capacity whatsoever, period, end of story. They are criminals, they are cowards, they are losers, they provide extreme detriment to society, and they need to be remembered for nothing else. That is what I have for you right now. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.